Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 books that you need to read before they get adapted into film. These are all coming out, as far as I know, in 2025. However, we know how release dates can be pushed back, so take this with a grain of salt. And some of these are going to be on the big screen, and then some of them are going to be adapted into TV shows. Also, if I have any book reviews for any of the books that I'm going to be discussing in this video, I will link them up in the cards as well as in the description box below if you want to check them out and hear more of my thoughts on these particular books. The first book is Mickey 7 by Edward Ashton. This is being adapted into the film Mickey 17, which is currently out. I think it was released on March 7th, so it's been out for a couple of days. In this book, we are following an expendable named Mickey, and expendables are people who go on dangerous missions, and if they die, their body is reanimated and all of their memories, everything like that, is re-downloaded into them. Mickey is on a ship that is trying to colonize another planet called Niflheim, and he is sent on this mission. He dies, well, at least they think he dies, and he ends up returning to his colony ship only to find out that they have already created another Mickey. So that presents a problem, as only one can exist at a time. So we delve into that dilemma, and then we actually have a dilemma going on the surface of this planet that has to do with the indigenous species that Mickey came across while he was on the planet doing this dangerous mission. So he has developed this kind of weird relationship with this indigenous species that no one else has been able to develop. So he has become an asset more so than being an expendable to the colony ship and the commander and all of that. Edward Ashton definitely knows how to write very fast-paced sci-fi. He definitely has a lot of humor in his books. Mickey is not a character that takes anything too seriously, despite the horrible situations he often finds himself in. This was one of my favorite books, I believe, of 2023. So if you want to check out my review, please do so. As for the movie adaptation, they ended up changing the name to Mickey 17, which makes me think that there have been 16 Mickeys that came before the current Mickey rather than just 6 in the book. This film is being directed by, I believe he's a South Korean director named Bong Joon-ho, and he won an award for directing the movie called Parasite, which I have never seen. And this movie also stars Robert Pattinson as Mickey, and we all know he definitely got his debut in the Twilight series playing Edward. Upon watching the trailer for this movie, it definitely looks like a dark comedy. And to be honest, that's kind of the way the book is, because like I said, Mickey takes a lighthearted approach to the most dire of situations, and it definitely looks like it's got a very similar tone in the movie. If you've checked out Mickey 17 in the movies already, let me know in the comments what you thought of it and if it's worth seeing. I do plan on seeing the movie. However, my husband wants to read the book before seeing the movie. I do have the book on audio, and he said he'll listen to the audiobook. It's not very long, so it might be a couple of weeks before we actually go see the movie. But you guys will have to let me know in the comments if you want me to do a discussion or compare and contrast between the books and the movie once we do see it. Hey guys, if you are enjoying this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well as giving this video a like to throw my channel a little bit of love and support. Also, I am the author of the science fiction book Aftermath, which currently has a 4.38 rating on Goodreads. So if that sounds like something that interests you, please consider checking it out. All links are in the description box below. Then we have the Murderbot Diaries, or All Systems Red by Martha Wells. This is a sci-fi novella that is being adopted into a TV show produced by Apple TV. Now, All Systems Red is on my TBR for March. I do have Kindle Unlimited, so I know that that book is on Kindle Unlimited if I've already read the first couple pages of it, just to kind of see what it was all about. From my understanding, this follows a robot who is created to be a protector, a soldier type robot, and he ends up hacking his own system, and this creates self-awareness within him, which kind of begs the question if he's self-aware and knows that he's going to be killing living things. Is he still going to do it? I also heard that this is another series that has a very light tone, as Murderbot, even though he's a murderbot, loves the comedies and sitcoms and TV and things like that. So he's definitely not your violent type robot. And then he goes on all of these escapades throughout the different novellas. As for the TV show, I have not yet been able to find a trailer because the release date for the TV show is May, so it's definitely coming up. And it is starring Alexander Skarsgård, who I know has been in several movies. The one that's standing out to me is Tarzan, even though I know he's been in things other than Tarzan. So it is a priority to go ahead and read All Systems Red, so I will be all caught up when the TV show comes out in May. Next, we have Cold Storage by David Koepp. And David Koepp is actually a Hollywood screenwriter. He has written for movies like Jurassic Park, Mission Impossible, so he is a very seasoned, experienced writer, and he ended up writing this book. This is a sci-fi book about a deadly fungus. In the beginning of Cold Storage, we are following two bioterror operatives, and they are responding to this strange occurrence in Australia where this entire small town in the middle of nowhere, everyone died. And they ended up finding this very deadly fungus that, if it was unleashed upon the world, would completely decimate the human population. So they ended up taking this fungus back and putting it in cold storage. Then we're following, during this new time period, a character named Tea who is a security guard at the cold storage facility. He and this other employee have to take on this deadly fungus, figure out what is going on, and essentially save the world with the help of these bioterror operatives that knew about this weapon the whole time. As for the film adaptation, on IMDb it says it is currently in production. There is no release date, but I ended up reading Cold Storage, I think last year, because I knew that the movie was going to be coming out eventually, and it had one time said 2025, so I'm not sure if the release date has been pushed back at all. But it is starring Liam Neeson, and I'm assuming he's going to be playing the FBI operative Diaz, kind of the more seasoned character. And then we also have Joe Keery, who played Steve from Stranger Things, and he is going to be playing Tea Cake, the security guard at the storage facility who has to handle this deadly, crazy fungus that is trying to escape. It'll be an interesting adaptation, I think, and David Koepp is definitely in the middle of it, so it'll probably be very similar to the book. Then we have Klara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. This is a science fiction book, but I've never read a Kazuo Ishiguro book before, but I think it's more like light sci-fi, more speculative. But in this book, we're following Klara, and she is an artificial friend, and people can buy these artificial friends. And she is losing hope that she will be purchased, and she watches customers come in and out of the store all day. But one day she does get the opportunity to go live with a family. And the story kind of goes through like her interactions with the family, and I think the family is kind of falling apart and having a lot of inner turmoil, so Klara kind of finds herself in the midst of that. So it sounds like it is going to be very character-driven, very emotional, and focuses more on what it means to be human than your hard sci-fi type of stories. Kazuo Ishiguro has already had 2 other books that have been turned into films, so his books definitely are popular in that regard. As for the film, it is scheduled to come out in late 2025. There's not a concrete release date that I could find online, and we are going to have Jenna Ortega and Amy Adams in this film. I do want to read the book before I watch the movie. I ended up picking up this book for that specific reason. I got it from thriftbooks.com. Pretty much brand new for about $8. I don't think this book has ever been read. It is in perfect condition. So I'm excited to read this. This will be a new to me author, and I know that he is highly acclaimed, so I'm very excited. Next we have The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware, which is an adult thriller. In this book, we're following Lo, and she is a travel journalist, and she gets the opportunity to go on the maiden voyage of this very small upscale cruise ship, and she agrees so she could write a piece about it. She meets the woman that is residing in the cabin next to her, but then that night she thinks she hears a splash going overboard from the cabin next to her, and then she never sees that woman again the whole duration of her cruise. And she asks people about the girl, and people tell her, like the staff and all of that, say that that cabin was empty, that the person that was supposed to book that cabin on the maiden voyage, canceled, didn't show up. And our main character knows for a fact that she saw someone and she heard a splash of a body being thrown overboard, so she starts to investigate. And this is a very small cruise ship. It's very intimate. There's not thousands of people that could potentially be murderers. And we also have a very unreliable narrator in this book, which just makes the reader question whether what she's telling us, the reader, is actually true. As for the film adaptation for The Woman in Cabin 10, this is being turned into a TV show by Netflix starring Keira Knightley. And what's exciting about this is there's actually a sequel to this book coming out, The Woman in Suite 11, over summertime. So I'm curious if Netflix is going to adapt book 2 into a TV show as well. So I do plan on watching the series, and I think it has a really good cast and will definitely be one of those edge of your seat type thrillers. Okay, you guys, that is it for 5 books that you need to read before you watch the film adaptation. Let me know in the comments which one of these you are most excited for, which one of these books you've read, which one of these films or TV shows you plan on watching. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in another video soon. Goodbye.